Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for another episode of the Mark Young Media Podcast. That's me. My very special guest today is my oldest daughter. It is Tori. Say hello, Tori. Tori's right here beside me, and we're in Studio 13 in Cork City. So let's hit that. Intro music and get this podcast rolling. All right. Oh yeah, as always, we got the old positive vibes coming through with the intro music. As always, the intro music I use is in the royalty-free library in YouTube. If you like it, go check it out. It's there somewhere. So, this week, what's happened this week? Oh man, this week finally got back out on the motorbike. And motorbike's been sitting there now for a bit of a while, just due to the lockdown and really bad weather. And that's kind of just why it's been sitting there. So yeah, got out on the bike today, brought it down to where I'm keeping it in Petrina's, and got her washed, got her polished. She's gleaming, finally got it gleaming. And so did Petrina. You can see some of those videos up on my Instagram, the Mark Young Media Instagram. That's it, yeah. And yeah, I've got notes today. So got a bit of stuff to talk about today. So I made notes. I'm not good at making notes at all. I'm not a school person at all. But yeah, so that's it. Yeah, I got out on the bike. It was great. And I had Maya then down for the weekend. And she got out as well. She got out on the bike as well. So we got her helmet that fit her and brought her for a spin. It's her second spin. It was her second proper spin. And I have that on camera as well on the GoPro. And I really still have to get around to editing it, so it was quite funny. GoPro was situated just in front of us, so you can see all her expressions and all her smiles and all her screams and her look of terror going into bends, but she enjoyed it. Definitely a bit of biker blood in Maya, absolutely, and there's definitely a bit of biker blood in Tori here beside me. Absolutely, who's fashioning a Harley Davidson t-shirt right here. Let's check it out over here. Harley Davidson, yes. Those of you who are looking on YouTube, or listening or watching on YouTube, we have our video cast as always, as much as we possibly can, and the rest of it then is on Buzzsprout and other podcast platforms. So yeah, Tori is almost a veteran at this stage of riding motorbikes. Not riding motorbikes, but being on motorbikes. When was your first one? We still have, do you remember the first photograph we have of you on a motorbike? It was on a blue and white bike. It was a Vulcan 1500. Is that the one
in Nanny's house in Brasslair, and I was on the bike and I had like sunglasses on and two pigtails right here.
No, you had no hair.
I know the other one you're on.
You were a baby.
Yeah.
You were an absolute baby. You were a tot.
Well, actually, if we want to go into details, I was on the bike when my mum was pregnant with me. So
that's right. Your mum. I used to bring your mum to work when she was pregnant, and she only stopped going on the bike when she couldn't fit anymore. literally, she had to just plop herself down and sandwich herself in. So when she got too big, then we couldn't have her on the bike anymore. So so then the next time then you were on the bike was obviously when you were out, and you were a baby. Because I remember the picture. You had like a little beanie hat, and I had gotten you biker sunglasses at a bike rally, and they're little black ones. They're like Terminator ones with little studs going across the top. They were awesome. I think we still have those sunglasses somewhere. Those sunglasses are definitely somewhere now. But then our next photographs were then of it was moving up in the world. It was onto a Harley. I always told you could I'd bring you for a proper spin when you could reach the pegs. Yeah, that was it. But then up until that, it was the usual onto the tank and spin around the yard. But
that was the time I burnt my legs off the bike.
No, I think the time you burnt your leg off the bike was like I think I definitely brought you for spins beforehand. So when I came back from a bike ride or a rally or something, you I kind of went inside and you went over to look at the bike, and I came out and I saw you by the bike and I didn't take any notice of it, and then I saw you over by Nanny, and you had a big red. You had a big red mark on your shin, and I was like, "Going, are you all right?" And you were like, "Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah." And then I don't know what happened then, but you didn't even cry. but you scorched yourself off the exhaust.
See, my logic behind this was as I saw you coming back, and I was already on the bike like 3 times or something. So I was like, I can go on the bike now on my own. God, I'm so old. I was like 5, and I went to go on the bike, and I put my leg against the exhaust, and I like stood back and looked at my leg, and it stings so bad. And I looked
Yeah.
at my nanny, and I was like,
And you were afraid.
my
You were
leg
afraid to say
hurts.
anything.
I was so afraid to say anything to you because I was like, oh, Dad's gonna be so angry.
I'm surprised you weren't even crying. I think you started crying once you saw I didn't mind.
Yeah. I was trying to be a tough girl. I was like, if I cry, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I don't think you went near the bike then after that by yourself.
No,
It was
I
like
did
stay
not.
away from the bike when the bike is hot, when it's ticking, the metal is ticking. And then I brought you for spins on the Softail Custom. That was the one that looked like a fat boy with the disc wheels. That's the one where you're wearing your Love Heart sunglasses.
Yeah, I remember that one
And
vividly.
then we had you down in Killarney Bike Fest, the Bike Fest in Killarney,
I got a free album down there.
because you were
Do
dancing.
remember that? Yeah, I was in the front, but really like next to the stage, and I was dancing. I was the only person dancing there. And he came down to me after the show, and he handed me the album, but it's signed in like a lanyard, and he was like, "Well done." I was like, "Thank you."
Yeah, I remember that because you had your waistcoat at that stage,
Mhm.
and I had gotten you the Ladies of Harley, the Ladies of Hog patch,
Yeah,
and I got your name on the back of it as well. So your
so
waistcoat was
cool.
waistcoat was quite cool, and I had purple skull and crossbones on it for you as well. And then your mum, the DJ, was playing, and you were the only one out dancing. Like you were only small as well. Like you
I
were.
don't even know what the CD was. I think I handed it to Nanny, and Nanny probably still has it somewhere hidden.
I think you were 6 or 7. You definitely weren't. You were definitely 7.
I was old enough, yeah.
You were definitely 7. So, yeah. I don't think you got to go on spins then because there's too many people around.
Mm.
But I always told you once your feet could reach the pegs, we could bring you for a spin. So it was then up in the north side of Cork when I owned the Night Rod Special, Harley Davidson Night Rod Special I had, and the pegs were close to the distance between the pegs and the saddle on the back was very close. So you reached the pegs then.
Mm-hmm.
So Maya doesn't reach the peg. It can't reach the pegs at the moment because just on the XR, the distance is too far for her. Like, so we just drove around the estate, and there's a back road going up to a recycling centre. Brought her up there and all of that. Like, so. But then you started going when we were living in West Cork. You started coming into school. We used to get you out of bed at 6 in the morning.
It was nearly 5:30 some mornings.
5:30, 5:45, get you up into. You had like a warm jacket, and you had a proper bike jacket.
Even if I had a proper bike jacket, it was freezing. I would never be able to feel my neck, and I always had to go like that when I was on the bike.
We had Lidl wet gear for you. Little wet gear for you. It was the wet gear's from Lidl.
There's a picture outside my mom's house, and it's just me in like a bright yellow
That's it,
jacket
yeah.
with dirty pants.
The brown pants, yeah.
Brown dirty pants, and just a massive helmet on my head that looks like it doesn't fit, but it did.
But we had we got you hiking boots as well to wear on the bike, and then it was just everything was fine except for your ankles.
Oh my god, my poor ankle.
The ankles were sticking out. That was it. Frozen ankles getting in. But like hail, rain or snow, you were on you came in on the bike because I remember my car was being used elsewhere, and so remember that there was a period of like definitely 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
We had
it was winter as well.
We had no choice but to go in, and that's an hour's drive, at least an hour's drive from where we were in West Cork.
Yeah.
So that was cool, like, but it was nice in some mornings. Other mornings were freezing. Like I was shivering some mornings.
So cool. You had the proper gear on and all. I had like 5 layers on with my school uniform underneath.
That was it,
and
yeah.
I was just in the back going, trying to hold on to the bars.
Still, it was cool going to school on the back of a motorbike.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that was funny. That. So yeah, you've only been on the XR now once or twice, haven't you? Once I think.
Many times.
The XR.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. You've only got rid of your
GS.
Your GS. I was still going to school in Knockbrown.
But was I? No, but yeah, okay. No, but I had the XR for a small while in Knockbrown. Then we went to Gagan.
Yeah, but that's small while I was still going on the bike loads of times.
I didn't realise you were on the XR that many times.
Yeah.
But I remember it was easier to carry you on the XR than it was to carry on the GS because the GS was too tall, and suspension was just
do you remember that time
too springy.
It tipped in Apple Green.
It fell over.
In Cork.
Yeah, embarrassingly so.
my heart, because my leg was like just about to get caught, and I was
Yeah.
like, whoa.
Yeah, no, well, it was never going. You were never going to get squashed because
Oh, I know.
the GS is a boxer engine, so it's the piston heads are coming out either side. But I remember coming in and like it was in order to put someone on the back of the GS, you have to put it onto 2-passenger mode or 2-people mode, and that raises up the back of the bike, and then that made it harder for me to tip the ground like on my feet. And I remember going into the garage and someone just reversed out in front of me and it was all over the place. And then next thing, I just couldn't balance it. So next thing we just toppled over. And that's the only time we ever fell over on a bike.
It was
Like that.
very, very heavy.
Very
God.
bad. Lash, we were trying to pick it back up then was a nightmare.
Oh.
But look, we were never in danger. Sure, look, it was just a topple over. That's all.
Just exposing you here.
Yeah, but then we went on the XR, and the XR is perfect. It's a proper road bike. When you put it on two people mode, when you put it on a mode where there's a passenger back, the bike doesn't raise up at all. The suspension just stiffens enough for the passenger. Sorry.
You're grand.
So yeah, the XR is brilliant. So we'll have to get back out on the XR.
Oh, definitely.
So
I do miss the bike a lot, and I have proper gear in it.
you do have the proper gear now this time, yeah. And the helmet is still there.
Oh yeah.
The helmet's still there with the radio function thing there on the side, the intercom. So yeah. So that's all cool. That's all. Once the weather starts getting finer, like going for spins, and I'll check my notes here.
Hopefully.
So what have you brought with you today, Tori? What are we talking about today? Where is this? Your records.
I have my
Records. Tori has decided that she likes records. You've gone way back. Why have you decided that you like records more than anything else to listen to music? Because you have other retro options, like you have cassette.
Yeah, but like records.
No, but like, okay, for starters, you have your records. You can listen for retroness. You could have records, fair enough. Cassette tapes, okay. Cassette tapes, they're okay. CDs, let's be honest, like CDs are utter shite.
They're horrible.
Because
you get one scratch in them, and
that's it. Forget about it. You could spend like a week's wages. What it was for me back then, a week's wages, or even more on a CD, and one scratch. Forget about it. It's gone.
Sucked. It was so bad.
And then now you have download, which is probably perfect. So why records?
Because it just gives me like, it's really authentic kind of feel.
But like you love the 80s style, don't you?
Oh, I love the 80s. I love the 80s so much.
But cassettes are more 80s retro than records. Records are more kind of, I suppose, 70s,
well, actually,
60s, 70s.
think of it, records are actually more accessible than cassettes. If you go into a shop and you look for cassettes, there's going to be none there. But if you go into Golden Discs in town, there's a whole section dedicated to vinyls. Like, I would go for cassettes, but it's just like they're so expensive. 1, 2, they're just nowhere. Like, you can't get them anywhere. If obviously, like, if you go out your back garden now in your shed, there'll probably be some there from like when you were a kid. But other than that, like, there's none anywhere.
But there is going to be a cassette revolution that's coming.
Probably.
It's coming down the line. Cassettes were fine until they got tangled up. Until they got tangled up inside the player, and that was everyone's absolute nightmare. You're listening to your favorite tune, and next thing you just this sound. You're like, oh no, man, my cassette, my tape, man, my mixtape, my goddamn mixtape. And you take it out and you just stop it, and you're looking at the drawer, the cassette, the thing that drops down, like, and you're looking at going, please God, no, just press eject, the door comes down. Sometimes the door wouldn't come down all the way, and then you're completely screwed. That's like everything, like, and then you just reach in, grab the top of the cassette, and you're like, please no. Next thing up, and the cassette is still inside, wrapped around the the rubber dragger. You're like, oh my God, my cassette. And it's worse than when you borrowed it off someone else. Hey man, can I borrow your cassette? I have a double cassette player so I can record. And that's one thing I'll always remember when I was buying stereos when I was a teenager. It always had to be a twin deck because you could record. So you play on one, record on the other, like, and it's all analog. It was fantastic, you know.
Yeah.
But the sound was never as good. It was always slightly bit more muffled. So the sound quality was rubbish off tapes for the most of the times, like.
Well, with records, it gives you that, like, when I'm saying it gives you the authentic kind of feel. At the start of the record, you hear it, you know, like the crackling, the little crackling at the start of it, and then this music starts, and you're like, oh yeah, I love this. Oh, it's so good. And also a great thing about it is the cover art. Ooh,
Yeah, the cover art is so much better. But
So
like,
pretty.
can you get like really good stereos nowadays with for records?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can.
it's
I
not
have
just
a
little small speakers that are like the size of an or a teacup. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, you can definitely get big ones. Like you know, the one Wendy has, it's like up here,
oh, a
and it's
stack. Yeah,
big.
Wendy has a stack.
Yeah,
Yeah, hi-fi stack, whatever it is
and it has
called.
big speakers. Like if you go into Golden Disc, you can get ones worth like 200 euros and stuff. But like I got myself a starter off one for 50 euros. It was cheap, but I bought it myself,
But can
and
you
I was
plug
so
in?
proud of
Can you
it.
plug in auxiliary speakers to it?
Yeah.
There's an auxiliary out, is it?
Mhm.
Okay.
So good. I was like, yes. I remember
Because
when
like
I bought
I have a
it.
stack here, like, and
Mhm.
you can get a lead out into something into this, and they're the speakers, like.
Yeah.
That's the one that was down home, like, so you can take that if you want, if you have room.
I
Or
don't have room yet, but like I have to wait till we move to our new house.
okay, well, this has a CD player, but it's too
Nice.
much. All of this is too much just for what you need. Like, it has the twin tape deck down the bottom. That doesn't
Mhm.
work. It just stopped working. All of a sudden,
It
just
doesn't
died.
work.
It just died. It just died like cassettes did. Um, like definitely when CDs came in, that was the end of it. But then they
Mm.
tried to bring out the mini disc, and the mini disc was a recordable disc, but this big, and I had a mini disc player as well, and they were just about to kick off until, and then the download thing started.
Oh.
That was it. These mini discs were cool, like because they were a small disc about that big,
Mm.
and you could fit a serious amount of music onto it, and it was in a plastic covering, so it was square, and it just slotted in like a cassette.
Mhm.
But there was no way you could scratch the mini disc.
That's
So you
cool.
so you could get the players, and the players had built-in microphones, and it was brilliant that way. Like, but then, a lot of the radio stations were using them. Like, but then the download thing started, and that was it. That was the end of it. Like,
Yeah.
let's have a look at some of your records that you've collected. I think it'd be a
Sure.
cool idea.
There's a bit there.
Do we have kind of music I can put in the background so we can just kind of play it? Let's see.
Elevator music.
I don't have. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, let's see what I have here. No. Maybe I don't. Maybe we can put. No, we don't. Sorry, my fault. Don't have music prepared. Professional. Okay, what we got first? What we got first?
So this is
What's your out of all your records? Start with your least favorite and go right up to your absolute favorite.
least favorite. Oh god.
Yeah. Let's see what we got. Excuse me, my throat gets dry when I speak on the microphone. So your leaf. How many records do you have?
18? 18 I think?
18.
Yeah.
Cool.
I know. I want it to be bigger.
Well, yeah. Well, I suppose they're getting more and more popular. You've my Metallica one as well, don't you?
Yeah, it's at home though. I didn't bring it.
Well, that's all right. Because you've probably broken and you didn't want to show me, was it?
No,
Okay.
I prefer to take it out actually.
So what have we got here?
So this is the Top of the Poppers sing and play the Osmonds Greatest. Apparently the Osmonds are like a really famous singing family back in like the 70s, but I don't know, I don't like their music, so this is my least favorite.
Oh.
It doesn't have a cover, but there's a John Travolta cover for some reason, so I just have that on it.
John Travolta's a good-looking guy. You might as well have a good-looking guy on a dodgy record. But why do you have this? Was it given to you?
Yeah, Katrina gave it to me actually.
Oh, did she? Okay.
It's one of the records she
Sing
didn't
and
want.
play the Osmonds' greatest hits. Love me for a reason. That's them, is it? Oh, because feckin' boy band Irish boy band did Love Me for a Reason. Who did that? Was it Boyzone?
I have no idea. Probably
Love
Westlife. They
me
always
for
copy
a
everyone.
reason. It was Boyzone. Yeah, because I remember the lispy sound of it. Let the reason be love.
My plan actually is
Nope.
I don't listen to it, so I might just hang it up on my wall. Because
Do.
the thing about records, if you don't like it, don't put it back into a charity shop. You can just hang it up on your wall, and it looks extra better.
Yeah, you could do that. Absolutely. What's next? So that's your least favorite, the Osmonds.
So
The Osmonds is your least favorite. So just while Tori's going through her things, there's a quick brief history I have written down here in my notes. Here in front of me, 23. Let me see. Records. Okay, records originated back to 1867 or beforehand. Emil Berliner patented the gramophone in 1867, which is the first vinyl record player. And they, let me see. Obviously, then from then onwards, people were listening to music in gramophones and jazz like that. And then in the 1950s to the 1980s, the records were the most popular for pop music. So pop music in 50s, 1980s. And then in 1988, the compact disc took over in the 1988. And there's cassettes then, I have written out here, cassettes. The birth and the growth of cassette began in the 1960s. Its cultural moment took place during the 1970s and 1980s. Yeah, 70s and 80s. But of course, there was the bigger one that was, is it a 4-track? That big, huge, chunky thing that was in the cars, the hot rod cars in the 70s. I think it's 4-track. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. It's like, it was like you shoved it in a thing, like, it was like a Super Nintendo. You know, the cartridge. Yes, what is a cartridge, yeah. And that was in the 1980s. And definitely, so when 1980s and the 1990s as well, because I remember going down during my lunch break in secondary school, buying cassettes and having mixtapes and stuff like that. Like, so yeah, cassettes were developed by Philips in 1962, and then they took off late 60s, 70s into the 80s. Yeah, and then I suppose, look, that we all know what we have now, downloads and jazz like that. So next two we got, oh yeah, Phil and Tin's Soldier of Fortune. Can I see this?
Yep.
So we have Phil in it. This is the best of Phil in it and Tin Lizzy. Soldier for Whiskey. So what's on this? So we have,
there's Whiskey in the Jar. There's The Boys Are Back in Town.
So weird looking at this because it says side 1 and side 2. You don't have that anymore.
No.
You don't have that anymore because of everything is just download, like, so a million songs on one thing, like. Side 1, Whiskey in the Jar, Waiting for an Alibi, Sarah, Parisian Walkways with Gary Moore. Yeah. Do Anything You Want to Do, class song with Yellow Pearl, Chinatown, King's Call, Boys Are Back in Town, Rosalie, Dancing in the Moonlight, class songs. Don't Believe a Word, Jailbreak. I remember this. I grew up with the image of Phil Lynott because my mum and dad used to listen to Phil Lynott. But when I went to visit to my grandmother's house, my uncle Michael, my godfather, Uncle Michael, was a Phil Lynott fan as well. Phil Lynott, Bruce Springsteen, and I always saw the image of Phil Lynott, and to me it was kind of, I don't know, maybe it was his hair. As a really small kid, like, the image of Phil Lynott and the music just kind of was there with me, like, and I didn't understand it too well, but like songs like The Boys Are Back in Town definitely was definitely in my life since I was really small. Killer Still in Love. Oh, there's a live version of Still in Love with You. It's much better than the recorded version. It's on one of their live albums. It's much better than the recorded version, just so you know. So that's Phil Lynott and Thin Lizzy, Soldier of Fortune. There you go. There's that record there. That came from Trina as well. I'm going to check my GoPro, see how much time I got left on the recorder here. 13 minutes, perfect. 13 minutes left. Sorry, the crinkling you're hearing is my GoPro sitting on top of a carbonara quick pasta.
We love carbonara. So this is the Beach Boys, Good Vibrations, and it actually works. And it is,
because that was kind of scratched, wasn't it?
it's from the 70s.
This print.
Yeah, this print is from the 70s.
How do you know?
It says it on the record. It's at the bottom.
Wow, some history there.
It says it
Where
somewhere.
does it?
It says it on the record.
The copyright 70s stereo. Yeah, because they would have put it. So this disc is actually from the 70s. So
Pretty authentic.
imagine, like, you know, the hairstyles and what was going on when this is playing in people's houses. Like, this has obviously gone from person to person, like. But the Beach Boys to me was my dad. My dad loved the Beach Boys. Definitely loved the Beach Boys. So who's on set? Good Vibrations, Do It Again. I don't Farmer's Daughter. I don't know any of these songs bar. I know Good Vibrations, Surfing USA, and there's probably one or two that I do know that I just don't know that I know. So cool, man. 33 and RPMs. Yeah, you could change the speed on the record players. 33 RPM. Awesome. Beach Boys, Good Vibrations. There's some heads in that.
I know.
Wow, man. Okay, a lot of history. I love the fact that they're original prints. Your auntie Nicola has the Beatles original, the original copy of the White Album.
I'm so jealous.
Well, it's actually my mum's, but when she found out what it was, it kind of disappeared into the void of someone's locker and never came back.
Speaking of the Beatles, this is one of my newest ones that I've gotten. I got it for my birthday off Chris because I told him that I would like to listen to the Beatles, and he was like, I got the album for you.
Revolver. So it's
Revolver.
Beatles Revolver.
It's my favorite Beatles album.
What is it is it an album or a mix?
Album?
Oh, okay, yeah, Revolver.
Yellow Submarine is on it.
Oh, is it?
The
Okay.
only song ever written by Ringo Starr. Poor fella.
Was that not originally meant to be on a different album, was it? I don't know the Beatles now,
Um,
so
It was on
Submarine
Sergeant Pepper's.
Sergeant Pepper's, yeah.
I think.
Okay.
I'm not too sure. I don't have the Sergeant Pepper's one yet.
Long play. 33 and a third RPM, that is class. These are cool. I like the way you keep the plastic on top of it as well.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just keep the plastic on top of that one.
It's cool. I'm gonna have another glass drink of water. My throat is getting a bit dry.
This is my first ever vinyl I bought myself. It's Queen. It's a Kind of Magic.
Nanny Christine. The influence there.
Nanny.
Shout out to my mum, Christine Young, who brought Queen into the house.
Fun fact: this album was written for the movie Highlander, and that movie is epic, man. The soundtrack and everything is amazing.
Kind of my friends will be friends. One vision.
What vision?
It's Who Wants to Live? Yeah, Who Wants to Live Forever. That's the song. That's the main song from the Highlander, isn't it?
Mhm.
I actually have the Highlander on DVD. I have the director's cut.
Yeah, my mum does too.
On DVD.
She bought it.
I just don't like the part at the end where he has the quickening, the last quickening, and you can see the cables on him. That I was like, oh, this is. Oh, hang on. Are we supposed to
Poor
see?
guy.
Are we supposed to see Christopher Lambert with cables hanging off him? Where is the special effects guy? Where is the editing guy? Didn't work very well for you, but yeah, class movies that just they don't make it like that anymore.
Ready
Definitely
for
not.
This one you're gonna love.
Absolutely,
Saturday Night Fever.
nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. The haircuts always remind me of my dad.
I love the Bee Gees. I love them.
I love how perfect this is. Like this is obviously a new print, is it?
Yeah, I got it for Christmas.
More Than a Woman, Staying Alive. Which night? Oh, I love Night Fever. I think I love Night Fever more than I love Staying Alive
Fever,
because in the movie he's getting ready to go out with Night Fever. He's getting his hair.
I actually never watched it before, and I probably should, but
Yeah, yes and no. I suppose you do it at one stage. Yeah. I suppose you would. It's not. It's an okay movie, I suppose.
I probably should.
Yeah,
Whoops.
but I do like the song Night Fever more than thing. But cool.
It's cool.
You can't
My
beat it. I know, like I'm into all my rock and stuff like that, like as well. But you can't. Every now and then, a bit of disco is nothing wrong with a bit of disco to
My
get you
favorite
going.
one is Disco Inferno by the Tramps.
Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno.
I also have. Let's see here. Aha.
What do we got? Another one coming up.
Led Zeppelin. Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, okay. Well, that's actually an album. It's not just a song, like is it, or is it a single?
It's the song, but it's an album as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Where's this?
It's pretty cool. There's no
But like-
list of what
Oh,
songs
isn't there?
on it.
Okay, but they didn't. It is, yeah. There's a list there. Sorry. Black Dog, Rock and Roll, Battle of Evermore, Stairway to Heaven, Misty Mountain, 4-6. Oh yeah. Do you ever? There's a band who sound like Led Zeppelin, but they've also got. I think they've got Led Zeppelin's Blessing. Greta Van Fleet.
Never heard of them.
Oh, do Google it.
Okay.
Class. Black Smoke Rising. I think it's Greta Van Fleet. I think it is. I can't. Feck, it bug me now. I can't play it on the podcast.
Speaking of Fleetwood Mac, Rumors. My favorite Fleetwood Mac album. I adore this.
How long
album
have you
so
been into Fleetwood Mac?
Not long. I actually it was when I was deciding to get a record player like last year. I think it was January as well. I kind of sat there and I was like, what would be good records to get? My mum was like, listen to Fleetwood Mac and then come back to me. And I did, and I'm absolutely in love with their songs now.
Yeah, my mum was into. I'm not sure
They're
if my dad was
mad.
into that, but I know my mum was into that.
The Chain is my favorite. So good.
My mum was into that. Yeah, when my mum and dad owned the pub, it was always Fleetwood Mac and stuff down the playing. When mum and dad owned the pub, my bedroom was just above the bar, so all the music and the noise that was down the bar was coming through my room. So, yeah, it was always Fleetwood Mac and all those tunes, which was cool.
Yes.
Yes, now we're talking. This is cool. This class, I'm going to check the GoPro there, see how much time we got left on this video. 7 minutes left on the video. Okay. 7 minutes on video. If we cut it short, we have to cut it short. Right?
No,
Kiss.
it's fine.
Kiss. Best of Kiss. Yeah, Kiss were legendary back in their day.
I love them.
Legendary. Crazy, crazy night. Love that tune. Crazy, crazy. I was made for loving you, cool. God give rock and roll to you too. Oh yeah, class. Bill and Ted. So unholy, hard luck woman. Like people back in the parents back in the day. Did you watch the film Detroit Rock City?
I've never watched it.
I have
really
it on
wanna
DVD
watch
somewhere.
it.
I have it on
Do
DVD
you?
somewhere. Yeah, yeah,
You'll
yeah.
have to give it to me one day.
Yeah, you know, Detroit Rock City is class. It's cool. They made it like it's all about
Detroit
Kiss, like you know.
Rock City.
Yeah. There's some cool tunes on that.
Yeah, I love him. He's my favorite.
That's what's his name? Oh, I can't think of the names.
I can't think of any of their names either. I'm so bad with names.
God, I'm gonna have to Google it now. I'm so bad. It's been so long since I got into music. I should know. I'm gonna go like KISS band.
Shout out to Nanny. ABBA Arrival.
I'm not even gonna touch that. I'm not even gonna touch that record. ABBA. Yeah, Nanny Christine loved ABBA as well. It was constant. Gene Simmons.
So-
Gene Simmons, the bass player.
there
Of course, how would I not know Gene Simmons? Jesus. Not a fan of ABBA. It's just I think it was overdone in the
Yeah.
noughties. I think the ABBA revival was overdone in the noughties, and
I have an issue with ABBA. I watch Mamma Mia like 24/7.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
proper
That's what
issue.
I'm talking about. Issue with that, definitely. What have we got next?
Okay, so you probably won't know this, but it's Little Mix. Confetti. It's their newest album that just came out, and I actually have tickets to go to concert for this album.
But are they not splitting up?
She's gone, Jessie, but do you know what? She needed to go because she was going through so much at the moment. She was struggling, and everyone was bullying her over her weight, even though she's not even a big woman. I don't even get it. She's
I know,
the
but
most
the internet,
gorgeous girl.
the internet is the biggest virus on the planet.
So toxic. It was so bad.
The internet, Tori, is the biggest virus on the planet, and don't forget that.
I love it though. It's
It's a very colourful cover. I like the cover actually.
Yeah.
Max Factor, a big part of it.
I say we end it with a bang.
Okay, so this is the last one because we've got how long we got left on the video cast for the GoPro? 4 minutes, 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes left here, so
My little Tenacious D time warp.
yeah, we're talking. Tenacious D. I'm putting it up to the camera. Tenacious D. That's Jack Black, and I don't know what the other guy's name is. It's not on it. Kyle, Jack and Kyle. Yeah. Tenacious D's album is so catchy. The first album, I had their first album.
It's not
Kyle
even
Gass,
that's not
yeah.
even an album. It's just the one song Time Warp. But you know what? It's so good.
Jack Black has got so much
He
energy.
is such a good singer. They should make a remake of the movie and just have him as the singer.
Jack Black has got so much energy.
He's so much energy. You'd
Yeah.
think he lost it after all these years, but no. My mum had this on pre-order for me because she knew
Really?
how much I loved the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and then she was like Tenacious D. I was like, yes.
There's an album. Yeah. You're missing. I think you're definitely missing something. You have the Metallica one. You have the Hardwired to Self-Destruct. You have that special edition on.
That's pretty epic.
Yeah, but you are missing something from your collection, and it's definitely Iron Maiden, Fear of the Dark.
I actually
You-
don't listen to Iron Maiden that much. I need to start listening to them.
You do. I think it's Fear of the Dark is the one to get.
Fear of the Dark.
I think so. I'll have a look at it, but you do need an Iron Maiden
Cool.
record.
I'll put that
Absolutely.
on my list.
Iron Maiden and maybe an AC/DC one.
I need to get a Daft Punk as well. I
Really?
love Daft Punk. Oh,
Yeah. You've actually a great variety there of all the different tunes there. Like
yeah. People always ask me what my favorite genre of music is, and I'm like, I'll have
can't
to get
pick.
back
I
to you on
can't pick.
that.
I can't pick either anymore. I'm like I love like I like a lot of 80s electronic. Like I
I'm
love.
getting back into the 90s now, and I'm listening to all like the early 2000s 90s music, and I'm listening to Tupac and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, I
Really?
love this music as well.
Okay.
It's crazy. I'm like into 80s 90s. I even enjoyed everything is
I'm yeah. I went through a phase of an 80s what is it? A dark synth. 80s synth. It was dark synth and chill synth or something like that. Like synth is synthesizer music from the 80s. Like
Oh, okay.
it's cool. It just reminded me of the 80s movies I used to watch as a kid. Like and it just brought me back
Nice.
every single time. Like, but yeah. Okay, listen, and we have to get you home. Get you home as well. So It is 2 minutes left on the GoPro. Okay, right then. I'm gonna end the podcast here now. That was cool. It was great to have Tori here talking about her records and her experience on motorcycles. So Tori, thank you very much for joining me today on the Mercury Media Podcast.
No butters.
Okay, so we'll definitely have you back on very soon. We'll pick up a few more subjects and we'll get you back on soon. So I'm gonna
No butters.
put on I don't even know which one it is. So if I press this button, I can hear it and you can't. Maybe you can. I don't know. So I got 2 seconds or so. What's this? Is this it? That's the one. I hope you didn't hear that. Might come out. Oh, it'll come out in the GoPro. It might come out in the GoPro. Maybe. I don't want that. But anyway, look. Okay, bang on that music. Tori, absolute pleasure having you on the podcast.
No butters.
Thank you for bringing your record collection up. And okay, that's it for this podcast. And I thank Tori again. Thanks, Tori, for coming up and taking part today. Okay, next podcast will be soon, hopefully. So that's it for today. Everybody, stay safe. Talk to you soon.